Ancient creatures are one of the weirdest things I've had to research. I'm your host Youssef, and these are 10 scary ancient creatures that could defeat the Kraken. Make sure you subscribe and ring that bell to get notified whenever we upload a new video. Anyways, let's dive in. Number 10. Helicoprion. The mystery of this bizarre fish starts with a weird fossil and numerous attempts to figure out what it was and how to classify it. Helicoprion puzzled paleontologists and ichthyologists for over a century. The only remains of this fossil up until 2013 were from a fossilized whorl of teeth. While most scientists agreed that the teeth belonged to the lower jaw, that didn't prevent the presumed location of the teeth from migrating around the body in sometimes fanciful arrangements that can be seen in numerous illustrations and reconstructions. With the later discovery of some portions of a jaw, the location of its buzzsaw-like teeth were finally determined to fill the lower jaw. Strangely, there were no upper teeth, so this creature could terrifyingly gum and bite you at the same time. The jaw would close, rotating the teeth backwards much like a circular saw blade. It probably fed on the soft bodies of squid and other cephalopods, like the Kraken. Number 9. Arthropleura. This is not something you want to see crawling around the woods when you're out for a hike. Arthropleura was an 8.5 foot long millipede from the Carboniferous era, and though it was herbivorous, likely feeding on detritus like modern millipedes, it still has scare factor. I'm burning the house down if I find this under my sink. Just because it won't try to eat you doesn't prevent it from being creepy while it scuttles about. Fossil trackways have been discovered showing that Arthropleura could move and maneuver quickly, undulating hundreds of legs in rhythm to nauseate and disturb anyone watching. These are the largest known land invertebrates of all time, and it is unlikely that they had any predators, but it could probably rear up into a defensive posture and look you straight in the eyes. I think this thing would just scare the Kraken off. Number 8. Livyatan melvillei. This extinct whale was named both for the monstrous sea creature Livyatan from the Old Testament, that when he rises up the mighty are terrified, they retreat before his thrashing, and for Herman Melville, the author of the novel Moby Dick, tale of an accursed white whale that terrorizes Captain Ahab and eventually brought about his passing and the destruction of his ship and crew. This is an amazing namesake to live up to. Livyatan melvillei is related to modern sperm whales like Moby Dick, and lived during the Miocene epoch. It was 44 to 57 feet long and had a 10-foot long skull that housed 40 14.5-inch long teeth. These are the longest teeth used for feeding known from any animal extinct or alive. They fed on large prey at the surface of the water, including other whales. This whale likely became so large because it was competing directly with Megalodon for food. Number 7. Giganotosaurus. Giganotosaurus was 43 feet long and larger than the size of a Tyrannosaurus rex, but only by 3 feet. It had a 5.2 foot long skull with 64 8-inch long compressed and serrated teeth that were made for slicing through flesh, though they were not capable of crushing bone like the teeth of Tyrannosaurus. Giganotosaurus is from the Cretaceous period and lived in what is now Argentina. It was related to the nearly equally sized Carcharodontosaurus from Africa. Evidence suggests the possibility that Giganotosaurus was a pack hunter and that they hunted large sauropods. This would make it the only theropod that actively hunted sauropods. Another interesting feature is that the lower jaw was broadened slightly, allowing it to also handle smaller prey. It's easy to imagine Giganotosaurus chomping down on the flesh of some goofy bipedal mammals if it ever had been given the chance. And it could probably do the same to the Kraken. Number 6. Manto. Manto, red cloak, also known as red cape, red vest, Akai Kami Aoi Kami, red paper, blue paper, or occasionally Aoi Manto, blue cloak, is a Japanese urban legend about a masked spirit who wears a red cloak and who appears to people using toilets in public or school bathrooms. Accounts of the legend vary. But one consistent element of the story is that the spirit will ask the occupant of a toilet a question. In some versions, he will ask if they want red paper or blue paper, though other versions identify the choices as a red cloak or a blue cloak, or as a red cape or a blue cape. Choosing either option will result in the individual being removed from life, so the individual must ignore the spirit or reject both options and flee in order to survive. Author and folklorist Matthew Meyer has stated that the Manto has been recorded as a schoolyard rumor dating back as early as the 1930s. Number 5. Namazu. The legend or myth in Japan is that a gigantic Namazu, or catfish, lives inside or beneath the earth, or in the mud, which causes earthquakes. The association of the Namazu with earthquakes seems to have first occurred in the area around Lake Biwa, around the 16th century. The Namazu had been depicted in the Otsue, which were manufactured in the area. This earthquake-causing creature became associated with the deity and foundation stone in Kashima Ibaraki. The god Takumi Kuzuchi, enshrined at Kashima, restrains the catfish underneath a stone. When the Kashima god lets his guard fall, Namazu thrashes about, causing violent earthquakes. You know what comes with earthquakes? Tsunamis. Boom. Kraken's done. Number 4. Tiddalik. In the creation myth, Tiddalik awoke one morning with an insatiable thirst and started to drink until he had gulped down all the available fresh water. Creatures and plant life everywhere began to die due to lack of moisture. Other animals conspired against Tiddalik and devised a plan for him to release all of the water he had consumed. This was successfully coordinated by a wise old owl when Nabunem, the eel, made Tiddalik laugh when he tied himself in comical shapes. As Tiddalik laughed, the water rushed out of him to replenish the lakes, swamps, and rivers. But he could probably drink the ocean dry, leading to the Kraken just flopping about. Number 3. The Rainbow Serpent. The rainbow serpent or rainbow snake is a common deity often seen as the creator god, known by numerous names in different Australian Aboriginal languages by the many different Aboriginal peoples. It is a common motif in the art and religion of many Aboriginal Australian peoples. Much like the archetypal mother goddess, the rainbow serpent creates land and diversity for the Aboriginal people, but when disturbed can bring great chaos. There are many names and stories associated with the serpent, all of which communicate the significance and power of this being within Aboriginal mythology, which includes the worldview commonly referred to as the dreaming. The serpent is viewed as a giver of life through its association with water, but can be a destructive force if angry. Number 2. The Jersey Devil. In South Jersey and Philadelphia folklore in the United States, the Jersey Devil, also known as the Leeds Devil for some reason, is a legendary creature said to inhabit the forests of the Pine Barrens in South Jersey. The creature is often described as a flying biped with hooves, but there are many variations. The common description is that of a bipedal kangaroo-like or wyvern-like creature with a horse or goat-like head, leathery bat-like wings, horns, small arms with clawed hands, legs with cloven hooves, and a forked or pointed tail. It has been reported to move quickly and is often described as emitting a high-pitched, blood-curdling scream. Number 1. The Thunderbird. The thunderbird is a legendary creature in particular North American indigenous peoples' history and culture. It is considered a supernatural being of power and strength. It is especially important and frequently depicted in the art, songs, and oral histories of many Pacific Northwest coast cultures, but is also found in various forms among the peoples of the American Southwest, East Coast of the United States, Great Lakes, and Great Plains. In modern times, it has achieved notoriety as a purported cryptid, similar to creatures such as Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster. And come on, something called the Thunderbird can definitely take out the Kraken. Thanks for watching. Those were 10 scary ancient creatures that could defeat the Kraken. Leave a like and comment if you think we missed anything, and we hope you have a scary day.